Hello and welcome to our tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to do what's referred to as skinning. We're going to try and place, get the mesh and the rig to um, talk to each other. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. It's quite a difficult and time-consuming process, like most things. But let's start with let's just hide the rig and have a little ponder what we're going to do with the character. So if we want to have a character, like in my mind, this is a non-player character. So this is a bad guy who's going to run at us with a club, and we're going to shoot him, and he's going to fall over. And that's about his contribution to the game. So he's not a character who needs pickups. So like I'm not going to be picking something up and changing my armor, or changing my arm greaves, or changing my clothes. I might change weapons, so I might have a troll one type of weapon or another, or a different type of shield. So there is that possibility. But I don't think I'm going to have multiple trolls with different types of armor. I could do that, but I choose not to. So with that decision made, now I can now join all these things together. If I did want pickups where I changed the armor, I would leave certain objects separate so that I could remove them and add them during gameplay. But in this instance, I don't want to do that. So how do I join it all together, and what do I join with what, and in what order, etc. So let's just start out with, so this is our main mesh. This is the body. So let's go to the modifier stack. It's got a subsurface modifier on it. So I'm going to delete that. It doesn't look as good, but we will be adding that back on a little bit later. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll leave that on just because these things have started to go through. But you'll see why I might have taken that off. Anyway, let's start with these arm greaves. They've got a mirror modifier. I'm going to apply that. Otherwise, when I join the meshes together, this will be deleted. So whatever modifiers are on the child object, so the child that's being joined in, they are removed. So I need to apply that. Now I've already got subsurface on the troll, the body, so when I join one to the other, the subsurface is already there. So I don't need a subsurface modifier on this. So I'm going to delete it, hold down the shift key and right click on the body, Control J. Okay, so now, so what happened to my texture there? So, not the light, so on this, Control J, and, okay, so let's have a look and see what happened there. So, this is my troll, and his texture is back. Now what's happened there? So I'm going to rename this body. Oh, no, it's not letting me do that there. I need to do this over here. So I have two UV maps now. There we go. So so we unwrapped the body, the troll body, and we applied all sorts of things to it. And now we've joined the arm greaves, and the arm greaves had their own UV map, and they were called arm. So we now have more than one, and as we join these objects that we've unwrapped, we'll end up with multiple UV maps. So let's take this here. Let's go back to the modifier stack. We can remove that. Control J, and it has joined. If we have a look now at our object, we have this has two UV maps, one for the belt and one for the cloth. So you can see that we've got four UV maps. This here has a shoulder UV map. So again, we go to the modifier stack, apply the mirror, delete the subsurf, and then go Control J. These guys here, these spikes, they don't have a UV map, so they're not going to do anything. They have a subsurface modifier though that we can delete, and then go Control J, join them. My hat here, I can delete the subsurface, and then I can apply the solidify. And then this already has this is a UV map. Now this UV map is called UV map, so I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it hat, and then I'm going to go Control J, and it's joined. So I have this ring here. We didn't unwrap it. But let's see, it's got a solidify. We'll apply that. Delete the subsurf. Control J. We have a couple of rings here. This one again. Apply solidify. Delete subsurf. Control J. Same with this one. Apply the subsurf or the solidify. Delete subsurf and Control J. Oh, I should have that on. And finally, with this one here, we select this guy, apply the subsurface or the solidify modifier, delete subsurface, and then Control J. Now, you will notice I have not joined the eyes, the eyeballs, because I want them to be separate objects that follow the eye bones. Now, let's just see if that worked. So, H. Aha. So we didn't do these guys. So Alt H. Select these, have a look at their modifier stack. So apply the mirror modifier, apply the solidify modifier, delete the subsurface, select the body. Let's just check what the UV map, and this is called UV map, so we'll call this armbands. Okay, and then we will Control J. All good. So now you can see we've got a whole range of UV maps. And they hold the information about the coordinates of where the texture should go for each texture. When I go to my object here, you'll see that I have a range of materials because I've joined the objects together, and I also have a range of textures. Okay, and they can all sit happily together. I'm going to go File, Save As, Troll 17. You will note I already have a Troll 17, and that's because I've already done all of this, and then the video didn't record with audio. And it was about 40 minutes long, and I've had to do it all again. Happy days. Okay, so that's my troll prepared for what we're about to do. So let's just start with the eyes. So I'm going to select an eyeball. I'm going to go Control S. No, not Control S, Shift S. I'm going to go Cursor to Selected. So I've moved the cursor to here, and go back and select my rig. Go into edit mode on the rig and then select this bone here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Shift S again, and then I'm going to go selection to cursor. And this bone, and most importantly the rotation point of this bone, is going to be at the origin of the eyeball. Now I'm going to do the same for the other eye. I'm going to select the eyeball, Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to go into edit mode on the armature, select the correct bone, and then selection to cursor. Now, what I've got is the two eyes are in, or two eyeballs or bones are in the correct place. Now, when I go into edit mode, this is the last bone selected. Now I'm going to go from edit mode to object mode. I'm going to select the eyeball, then the rig, and then Control P, parent. And I'm not going to choose with automatic weight. I'm going to choose bone, which is a single bone, and the bone that it will pick will be the last bone selected, which was my bone for eye right. So now I'll go back into my edit mode, select this, no, not that one, this one, and repeat the process. Select the eyeball, then the skeleton, Control P, bone. Now, let's go to pose mode. I'm going to select this eye here, and I'm going to, or bone, and I'm going to go H for hide, and same with that one. And now when I move this bone, you should see both eyeballs moving, and you can. Okay, so that is the first part of our rig setup. Okay. Now the next part is we're just going to place the bones in the correct position, and then I'm going to stop this tutorial. And then in the next tutorial, what we're going to do is a process called skinning, where we attach the armature to the mesh. So before then, let's just place these bones. So I'm going to edit mode, and whoops, yeah, just select this. So I'm going to go G and move this to here. Do the same with that. Select all of this. Go G. Place it in the middle leg. The knee should be about there. Do the same with this. So select the whole thing. Move it into the middle. And then reposition this slightly. Now we're going to look from the side. And that looks approximately correct. Let's see my hand and arm bones. So we're going to go back to the armature and turn on X-ray. And these could do with a little tweak. So G, move this one back a little bit. And move that one back a little bit. And yep, that's it there. Oh, no, it's not. That's it. Let's move our elbow up a little bit. And I'm going to make a couple of changes up here. So this neck is totally wrong. So I'm going to take this bone here and go G, place it up here. The base of the head's going to go here. And I take the base of the neck and go G and place it about there. Yeah, so the neck should be just this section here. And almost like everything in the head bar, the eyes will be associated with this bone. Okay, so at a glance, everything is in approximately the right position. I am going to add in 2 more bones. I'm going to take the bend bone here and go Shift D or 90. I'm just going to place this here, scale it down a little bit in the front, and this is going to be if I want this piece of cloth here to move or sway. And I'm going to do Shift D and place this one back here. Now, this bone here, I'm going to rename. I'm going to call it cloth front 1, and this one's going to be cloth back 1. And I want to change their parent so that they follow the bend bone. So as I crouch, the cloth goes down with me. So go to the individual bone. I need to go into, I'm in edit mode. So instead of the parent being the master, it should be the bend bone. I'm going to do the same with that one. Okay, so now we are ready to join the outside of the mesh, or the mesh and the skeleton, and hopefully get it all working and animating.